So I'm Simon Redfern from the Department of Earth Sciences. I think it's one of the great advantages of being an academic, actually, is this freedom to do your work in many places, to collaborate across the world. So it's nice to have some understanding, however poor your understanding is, of what's going on amongst the society and the people and the landscape where you're travelling. This work that we've been doing in Kazakhstan, which is a completely new area for me. I knew nothing about Central Asia, so not only is it interesting to be working on some specific problems in the area, but also to discover for yourself something about the culture and landscape of the place. Yeah. It's an interesting story. It's a short story, really, an extended short story, and it's set in the end, well, during the Second World War, during the time of collectivization in Soviet, actually Kyrgyzstan, so just south of Kazakhstan. And Aitmatov is a Kyrgyz author, but the story is sort of on the borders of Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan, and it relates to a family. And while I was in Kazakhstan, it was clear that family relationships are very important in the people I met. People seem to know their family history, their family tree, and they identify themselves through their families. And this particular story is about collectivization, the change in the culture during Soviet times. Fiction itself also, I think, gives an insight into how people think, the important things that drive them, and often provides a different sort of a description of the people, and usually by the people themselves. So it's a different way of getting an insight into a landscape and people. I'd thought of the steppe as rather a desolate, empty place, but the grassland isn't simply grassland. It's, you know, the number of native plants, native flowers astounded me. So we went up into the mountains, and you know, wild peonies and all the plants that you would want to try and grow in your garden here in Cambridge, just verdant and abundant in the landscape there. And some of that comes out in this book as well. It's a book that's very rooted to the land, because it's a story set on a farm in a small village, and you certainly have the feeling of the work within the landscape as being important. And so it brought some of that history and geography to the place alive. It gives another insight into what's going on in the places that you visit beyond the rocks.